Aw, look at this little teapot. Quick, get it with a hammer before it runs away. It's a really good way to get your anger out about the current state of things, if you know what I mean. Stupid freaking teapot. There, finally. Now that the teapot's broke, I'm gonna fix it. Like this, shwabam. And now we have a little cute teapot butt. Look. And now I'm covering up these sharp edges because safety. Look, I don't want a fairy lawsuit. However, I don't want to remove all sense of danger from this teapot. Did you know teapots were dangerous? They can be, especially if you startle them. So that's why I'm adding this thorny fairy security system. But we also need to add a circle window, so I get my circle window tool out and to make myself a circle window. I wish it was this easy in real life, because one day I want a circle window. Because look, they get 2 circle windows. That's 2 more circle windows than what I currently have, if you're counting, which I am. Snap. Boop! I don't think that was the right sound effect, but it's the one I went with. Okay, so I painted my teapot blue and added these red flowers. It's not a style I would normally go with, but I'm glad that the plate made me go this direction. Anyways, I guess we should get on with the story. So this teapot's gonna be a tea shop, owned by a fairy, sort of. It's actually a pixie in disguise. Shobam! I don't really know the difference between pixies and fairies, but I think it has something to do with fairy dust. And also pixies are really good at making cake, like this cake right here that came from my cake bag, along with a tiny tea tray. Okay, so it's a cake plate. It doesn't sound as good. Anyways, this is not a story about a cake plate. This is a story about a girl who cried a whole river and drowned the whole world. And while she looks so sad in photographs, I absolutely love her because her name was Tina or Trixie. And she was actually a pixie who had to pretend to be a fairy. Okay, sorry about that. Anyways, so Trixie, the pixie, had to pretend to be a fairy. And so she made counterfeit fairy dust, which, did you know that counterfeit fairy dust is often used in fairy pastries? So it made them delicious. And the fairies don't know. They have no idea. Pixies and fairies look pretty much the same. Also, they didn't question it because she gave her fair share of dewdrops into the fairy fund. So bam. Anyways, Trixie lived with the fairies for years and nobody suspected. And they all loved her. But, one day somebody did find out because you can't just, boop, be producing fairy dust out of your pocket and not get caught, at some point. Ha-cha-cha. But most of the fairies didn't care. They made her an honorary fairy anyway. However, this evil tyrant of a fairy became the head fairy by lying to the other fairies, and he hated pixies. And so he flew down to her shop and was like, "Show me your fairy dust." And she's like, "No, man, that's kind of personal." He didn't care that Trixie was an honorary fairy. He ripped her from her family anyway to imprison her in a spider web. But luckily for Trixie, do you know what's attracted to hatred? Owls. And luckily there was an owl nearby and it swooped down and it ate the the lead fairy. And that's when the fairy community banded together and made a law against hatred. The end. And look at that, we're done. What do you think of Trixie the Pixie's tea shop?